the hardest part about healing is not that you have to forgive the past, but that you also have to forgive tomorrow. I'm going to say it one more time so you can hear every word. The hardest part about healing is not that you have to forgive the past, but that you also have to forgive tomorrow. When she said that, I was like, just drop the mic and get out of Zoom. Like, you could go. You don't need to say more. This is more than enough. This is what I needed to hear today. Hi, welcome to another episode of Revolutionary G-Talks. For those that don't know me, my name is Giselle Ureña, and I am so excited that you're here with us today. You might be wondering, what am I going to talk about today? I felt the need to talk about forgiveness. The other day, I was actually in my group therapy session, and one of the people in the group said the hardest part about healing is not that you have to forgive the past, but that you also have to forgive tomorrow. I'm going to say it one more time so you can hear every word. The hardest part about healing is not that you have to forgive the past, but that you also have to forgive tomorrow. When she said that, I was like, just drop the mic and get out of Zoom. Like, you could go. You don't need to say more. This is more than enough. This is what I needed to hear today. And it was so good because that is so true. Sometimes we think that forgiveness is just something that it's said and done. Oh, I forgive you. It's okay. And then you keep it moving. But then inside of you, you're still holding that resentment, that grudge, that pain, that anger, whatever it is, you're still holding on to that. And deep down, you haven't really forgiven that person or even yourself. And that's why I want to talk about forgiveness today. It's because I realized that it is one of the most essential parts of our healing process. It is to learn how to forgive. And when we learn how to forgive, we give ourselves the permission so that we can tap into our best self. I realized over the years, as I continue to heal and continue to seek my purpose, I was slowing myself down a lot because I was holding on to a lot of things that instead of me letting go, I kept gripping it because I wanted to feel control. I wanted to feel like I was controlling it. I wanted to feel like I had it all under my power. But instead, I was just cutting myself and I was hurting myself. I never realized that holding on to that grudge, that pain, and all of that trauma, I was slowing myself down to the point where I was even blinding myself, where I was becoming used to that pain and that anger, where I thought it was the normal thing to do, the right thing to do. And so that's why I want to remind you, I want to use this episode as a way to speak to your heart and tell you that it's time to let go. It's time to forgive. It's time to forgive yourself, and it's time to forgive others. But it's not that you're just going to forgive the past. You're going to have to forgive tomorrow. And you're going to have to be ready for that. And it's okay to feel the emotions. Forgiveness is not about you thinking is moving on. Forgiveness is not about moving on. Forgiveness is about letting go. Because to forgive, that doesn't mean you now reject and ignore and avoid the real emotions that you're still going through. All of that is still fine. All of that is still supposed to happen. Because if you submerge and you hide and bottle up those feelings, you're still doing yourself a disservice. So now you're probably asking, Giselle, so then how do I forgive and what are the steps? So here I have a couple of steps that I have been personally doing. So whatever I'm saying on this episode is coming from my experience and my experience only. So I'm not saying it could work for you. but it's never bad to try. We don't lose anything for trying. So I have 4 steps that I have been doing to learn how to forgive. And step number 1 is acknowledging that you have to forgive. I struggle with pride and ego. And I would negate and say that everybody was wrong and I was right. Everybody was, the one messing up and I was perfectly fine, making the right choices. And so I challenge you today, brother or sister, whoever you are, to let go of that pride and that ego and recognize that there are areas from you that need to be forgiven. Whether it is to forgive your brother, your sister, your mother, the child in you, your coworker, society, the systems that are against us. It's time to recognize that we have to forgive. Step number 2, every day when you wake up, every single day, I'm challenging you, every single day, not giving you no slack, no days off. Every day when you wake up, verbally, whether it is on your bed or when you wake up to go to the bathroom to brush your teeth, because those are things that we naturally do. So now I want you to add on to your natural habits, to your natural routine that you organically do. Now add on this. You verbally gonna say, today I forgive, and then there is a blank statement. Today I forgive my coworker. Today I forgive my wife. Today I forgive mom. Verbally say it. There is power behind words. Clearly, this is a talk show and there is a purpose behind it. I'm using words to reach and to do a calling, right? There is power behind you waking up every day and verbally saying, whether you're saying it yelling or whispering it does not matter. As long as you get those words out of your mouth, that's what matters. So step number 2, saying out loud, today I forgive so-and-so. I did a 40-day challenge where every day I said, today I forgive myself. I struggle till this day with not messing up. I don't like to fail. And I always want to do the right thing because I feel like I have all of this responsibility, right? And I forgive myself for being my hardest critic and for putting so much weight on myself that is very unnecessary. And I've seen the progress. I've seen how every day, even if I didn't mean it, even if that day I didn't feel it, just because I said it, I see the compounding effect that now that's having on me. And I see a glow and a love for myself that I've never experienced before. I see and I'm starting to feel this gentleness that I have for myself that I never had, that I never gave myself. I think of this as that analogy when we have a baby in our hands, a newborn, an 8-month-old or whatever, we're so gentle because we know how fragile that baby is. So we're careful with the baby and the way we hold the baby and the way we posture the baby in our arms. And now I'm starting, after that 40-day challenge of me every day saying, today I forgive myself, I'm now seeing how I'm treating myself like that. Like, hey, you are fragile. I deserve to be gentle and kind to myself. Number 3, this one you're gonna like. And this one is one of the hardest ones. It is to start digging in to all the places that you have been hiding, that you have been avoiding, that you have been running away from. And it's hard. Want to know why? Because, like I said earlier, when you become accustomed and used to doing the same thing, then you think it's normal. Then you think it's the right thing to do. So when it's time to start digging in and unraveling and unpacking, it is difficult to recognize and identify, is this one the right thing? Is this one the wrong thing? Is this one the one that's damaging me? Is this one the one that's supposed to be helping me? It was so bad for me that I couldn't identify which one was right or wrong. I couldn't tell if I was doing the wrong thing because I became consumed by my unforgiveness. So the question is, Giselle, then how can you start digging in and unraveling and unpacking those areas of my life that I've been hiding? Here are 3 questions that I want to ask. And feel free to, after the video, go by yourself and journal or just think about it and reflect on it. Question number 1. Are there any coping mechanisms that you do, that you have, to run away from negative emotions? I'll give you an example. For me, one of the coping mechanisms that I used to run away from those negative feelings and from facing reality was that I became a workaholic. I would work. I would put my hands in thousands of projects. I wouldn't give myself a chance to sit in silence because I ran away from silence. I didn't want to hear the inner battle that I was going through. So that would be my first question. And as soon as you identify what you use to run away from those emotions, then that is step number 1 to digging and starting to take out all those things. Question number 2, do you see any ways how you respond to people, even when they don't do anything to you? For me, I had this guard. I don't trust you already. The trust issues, oh my God. They had no fault in what I've been through in my life. They had no fault and no doing in the pain I've endured. And I would have this guard and this barrier that I instead pushed away people that actually loved me and accepted me for who I was and who I am, with flaws and all. So that would be question number 2. Can you identify those places where you respond to something and to people and to situations where it's coming from you? And then the last question to start digging is, can you acknowledge any childhood trauma? Period. Those are the 3 questions. Can you acknowledge? Because I don't even want to say, can you identify? Because we can identify it, but we avoid it. But we don't like to acknowledge it. We don't like to admit that we have childhood trauma. So those would be 3 questions to ask yourself. And as soon as you reflect on these questions and you can face them, then that would be a great, strong foundational step to start unraveling that pain and what you've been hiding and what you've been bottling up. And then you would ask me now, what does that have to do with forgiveness? Everything. That has to do everything with forgiveness. Want to know why? Because forgiveness gives light to joy. When you forgive, you are opening up the path to living in an abounding joy. Joy is different from happiness. Happiness is just choice. Today I choose to be happy, and then you're happy. And tomorrow you cannot be happy. Maybe tomorrow the lights go off and you're not happy. You're aggravated, Happiness is a moment in time feeling. But joy is a state of mind. And I know I've heard people tell me, you're such a joyful person. I am. It's a state of mind. It's a state of being. Inside of me, I know I am joy. Sometimes I feel unhappy sometimes. So that's why it's important to get rid of all those baggages and all those burdens and all those things that are weighing us down, dimming our joy. But if we forgive, we give ourselves permission to once again find that joy that we had when we were a child. We are all born with that joyful being in us. Trust me, every child, every baby that is born, you see how they're just so creative and so careless, and whatever they do is because it's their own timing and they just rule the world. Adults, we lose that because of everything that's thrown in our path. And I want to challenge you to tap into that joyful child that you once was by forgiving yourself and forgiving others. I feel like this video doesn't even need to be longer than this. I feel like this was already a lot to process. But I want to close by just reminding you that it's not an accident that you watched this video. And it's not an accident that you're on this website, on this YouTube channel right now. If you go on my YouTube channel, you can see at the very top the banner. It says Personal Development, Entrepreneurship, Lifestyle. And I want to unpack a little bit what those pillars are. When you work on your personal development, when you work on becoming a better you, you start realizing that the reason that you're doing that is not to become perfect. It's just to become a better person that you was yesterday. And to live in the moment in time. To not be obsessed with tomorrow, because tomorrow is not promised. So when I am working on my personal development, I'm working on being the best me today, right now. And that does not mean perfection. That does not mean that you're going to always have your cup full. That does not mean that you're not going to mess up. We're supposed to. We're human. But when we find that mindset and we tap into that purpose and that personal development in our journey, then we start giving ourselves clarity of our calling. And I always say every calling is an entrepreneurship journey because purpose pays. Like I've said in previous episodes, purpose pays. And it's not only monetarily, it's not only with materialistic stuff, but it's also with just your wellness as a well-being and your life. Right? And entrepreneurship, when people get into entrepreneurship, what are people seeking? Wealth. And that's what happens when you tap into your purpose. You find wealth. And wealth is not just about money. It's about generational wealth. It's about what you're leaving for the people that are coming after you. And lifestyle now. That's my third pillar, lifestyle. When you make it a responsibility and intentional decision for yourself to work on your personal development, then it becomes a lifestyle. I remember I didn't have a routine with how I took care of my sleeping habits. And I remember at the beginning it was very hard to fall asleep at that time and to get, the 6 to 8 hours of sleep that they recommend, that the human body needs. And it was super hard. But now, it has become a lifestyle. I'm a grandma, y'all. I be knocked out by 9:30 p.m. I be in bed by 8:50 p.m. Like, I'm telling you, it has become a lifestyle. It has become my routine and my boundary. I go to sleep at that time. And I'm not going to it's a non-negotiable. I'm not going to let anyone take that away from me. Obviously, there are are exceptions of things that happen, and you know, sometimes you can't go to sleep at that time, whatever. Maybe you're a mom, maybe you're a dad, maybe you need to put children to bed. There are exceptions to a lot of things. But what I'm trying to tell you is that a lifestyle doesn't happen by immediate action. A lifestyle is a progress. It's something that you do on a regular basis, and you fall down and then you try again. So to close, forgiveness is a lifestyle. It's a lifelong journey. Forgiveness is a decision that you make on a daily basis. It's a life journey. It's a everyday battle. And I say battle is because I battle with myself every day. Battle with this head right here. But I'm very proud with the progress. And I know that you will be so proud of yourself too. And you deserve it. So forgive yourself and forgive others. You're going to see you're going to do yourself a favor. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to share this video and to hit that like and subscribe button so that you don't miss the next one. Thank you.